diving competition.
Whoa.
They leaped from the 88-foot-high historic old bridge into the river below. The competition's been drawing huge crowds eager to witness the daring skill perfected by generations of townsfolk. This year, there were 18 jumps in the competition and 22 eagle dives. Diving from the old bridge, which was originally built by the Ottomans in 1566, has been a rite of passage for generations. Lauren Listo won the competition for the 12th time after receiving 10 tens or 100 points after 2 series of jumps. That's an old bridge.
Look at that. Wow. So is that higher than like an Olympic
I guess.
height?
I don't know, 88 feet? Dylan doesn't know. Dylan's no help as usual. That's our time for now. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, the Madison School District getting a new list of goals for upcoming school years. We'll tell you how they plan to focus on the excellence of African-American students.
Some used chemicals have been found in 2 Madison wells. What the city is doing to make sure your water is clean.
How do we put a price on our greatest resource? Our kids are our greatest resource, so how do you put a price on that?
And now Janesville School District plans to use over $400,000 of grant money to improve safety in schools there.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. After meeting many of the goals set 5 years ago, the Madison School District is narrowing its focus.
Now updating its strategy to look for more ways to make sure that minority students are succeeding. Amanda Quintana is here with more on how the district plans to build on the progress that's already been made. Amanda.
Yes, well, more young students are reading well. More are graduating from high school, taking more challenging courses, taking the ACT, and earning higher GPAs, all compared to 5 years ago when MMSD created their first strategic framework. With more than half of the 27,000 students being students of color, the district is now setting some new goals.
We're here to celebrate, to thank you, and to tell you it is not enough.
After announcing the progress made over the last 5 years, the Madison School District is setting a new list of goals, making sure students are ready to graduate, creating spaces where the community thrives, and a new goal to see Black students excel.
To me, this is long overdue. Like, the Madison School District historically has always known that it has had pretty horrific outcomes for African American students.
Nichelle Nichols grew up in the Madison School District. Years later, with her children in it, Black students are still struggling.
Oftentimes, they don't feel they belong. They don't feel like their culture shows up in textbooks. They don't feel like they have spaces to talk about who they are, their positive history and identity.
But with this goal, by putting it front and center, Nichols says it could change the narrative about Black students in Madison.
All of our faiths are linked. We believe in the brilliance, creativity, capability of Black youth in Madison. It is our responsibility to make sure that that excellence can shine.
Superintendent Jennifer Cheatham says this is unique, something only a few other districts have vowed to focus on.
We often talk about what they can't do, but what happens when we start setting the tone of what they can do?
With the help of the African American community, the district hopes to come up with new ways to break down the barriers standing in the way of Black excellence. So maybe the next generation of families like Nichols can feel the effects of this commitment.
You want families living in this community to feel like something is changing for the better.
This goal of Black excellence is being thought of as less of a program and more of an outlook and a focus on making the African American community feel the district values them and knows their importance.
Amanda Quintana reporting on. Amanda, thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us in the Weather Center. Gary?
Eric, pretty quiet out there right now. There are a couple of showers and thunderstorms, not as many as there were yesterday, but even so, many of our viewers not getting any rain right now. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. There have been some cirrus clouds coming up from the south, and that kind of blocked out the sun a little bit. So the thunderstorms today are a little more prevalent farther to the west and northwest of us, where the atmosphere was able to get a little warmer and pop up those showers and storms. So you can see mainly over southwestern Wisconsin into parts of eastern Iowa. Farther to the north, there are some thunderstorms up in northern Minnesota that will affect us later tomorrow afternoon. But around here right now, it looks like some thunderstorms around Lone Rock or just to the south of Richland Center. Also a few across Grant County. The rest of southern Wisconsin, primarily precipitation free. Low temperatures this morning started out in the lower to middle 50s. Here in Madison, we dropped to 52 degrees. Camp Douglas is down to 48. Current temperatures are in the upper 70s to the lower 80s. Again, notice that the warmer temperatures out toward the La Crosse area where there is a little bit more sunshine. Dew point temperatures are in the mid-50s to around 60. Not terribly humid, but a little more moisture out of southwestern Wisconsin, again, leading some shower and thunderstorm chances. Look for any lingering showers and storms to end this evening. Skies will turn partly cloudy overnight. Low temperatures will drop to around 60. Look for a high temperature tomorrow of about 81, but there will be a chance for some showers and thunderstorms later in the afternoon. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. The Dane County trial moves today, too, for the Middleton man accused of brutally beating his landlord to death at her home in April of last year. 54-year-old John Hammond faces first-degree intentional homicide charges for killing 82-year-old Agnes Bram. Today, Dane County Medical Examiner Vincent Tranquita described a severe beating to the head, defense injuries, and an indication that the body had been moved to the garage from the scene of the attack.
I can say that head wounds tend to bleed profusely. I can say that there was a period of survival during this altercation because there is hemorrhage associated with many of the wounds, specifically the bruises and the rib fractures.
Hammond was renting a room from Bram in her home in the 7100 block of University Avenue in Middleton when she was found dead in the garage. The trial expected to last through the end of the week.
A 38-year-old Madison man who pleaded guilty to stabbing a woman on the city's Far East Side has been sentenced. Court documents show Michael Wagner will spend 12 years in prison and 10 years of extended supervision. Police say a 25-year-old woman was found with multiple stab wounds inside a Chester Drive home in March. Police say there were several small children in the home at the time of the attack. The woman was taken to a hospital where she survived.
A 38-year-old man arrested in the village of Oregon after his mother called police on him Sunday. Police say Joshua Jones got into a verbal argument with his mother Sunday that escalated to him pulling out a shotgun and making suicidal statements. Police attempted to make contact with Jones in the home in the 100 block of West Lincoln Street, but he would not come out or respond. Eventually, officials were able to make contact through the back of the home today, and he was arrested and is now facing charges for domestic disorderly conduct while armed.
It's in the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, the packaging your food comes in, and now it's in your water.
Some widely used chemicals have been found in 2 Madison wells, chemicals that are used in firefighting foams and cookware. Could cause some health concerns. Our Jamie Perez spoke with the Madison Water Utility this afternoon to get details you need to know. Jamie?
That's right. Well, they tested 2 wells here in the Madison area, well 16 and well 15, both of which contain very small amounts of the chemical. But out of the 2 wells, well 15 is causing more concern out of the 2. The customers who get their water from this well along East Washington Avenue are their biggest concern. But even at that, they say there's no need to worry just yet. This is simply a warning to keep monitoring reports on chemical levels in the water. These chemicals are called polyfluorinated compounds, which do not break down. So once they're found in water, they don't go away with a filtration system. They found 0.037 parts per billion of the chemicals in the water, so that's not much, but it is a concern, and should it grow a few times larger than that, it would be something to watch out for. The public information officer at Madison Water Utilities says that they suspected out of all the wells they tested, it would be most likely for this to show up at the well closest to a landfill or airbase.
Really want to understand what's happening at well 15. We did find out after we got those test results in and notified the DNR. They told us that there has been perfluorinated compounds found in the groundwater and soil underneath the airbase. So we're trying to work with the DNR and the Air National Guard to figure out, kind of characterize what's happening.
She also wants to ensure that people can continue drinking the water if they do get their water from well 15 in the Madison area. If you have any concerns, feel free to call the Madison Utilities headquarters with any questions you may have. Now, they say they will continue to perform tests on the water and investigate exactly what's going on to cause any levels at all in the water at this well. Coming up tonight at 6, find out if you're in the area of the affected water. We'll show you a map of the areas that use well 15.
All right, Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Federal immigration and customs enforcement officers are stepping up their presence in the Madison area. An ICE official asked Sheriff Dave Mahoney for the county's participation in the 287G program, which enlists local officers to assist the agency. The program is part of a crackdown on immigration that has been a focus of President Trump's administration. Sheriff Mahoney says his staff is already doing an outstanding job at building trust in our community, trust within our immigrant community, and our community at large. Sheriff Mahoney says this program by ICE does the opposite of what his deputies do every day.
They already have a tough job, and they have a lot of duties that they carry out. And it shouldn't be that they're now becoming federal agents to carry out, you know, the will of a federal administration that now wants local law enforcement to carry out their duties. If that's the direction that the administration wants to go, then they need to take the steps of hiring additional staff to carry out their mission.
Sheriff Mahoney says other law enforcement officials in Dane County have also refused to cooperate with ICE.
The school district of Janesville is setting its sights on improving school security.
It comes after the district was awarded more than $400,000 in grant money. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with what that money will buy. Adam?
Well, each of the 21 buildings at the school district of Janesville is going to get them $20,000, coming to that grand total of $420,000. But as for what the money's going to buy, well, a whole bunch of stuff, including wireless key entrances, more security monitors, safety film that will protect glass on doors and windows, and allow them to get more portable radios that allow them to talk directly with police.
I think it's always important to keep your kids safe and your staff safe. I mean, in this day and age, you know, any measures you can take to increase security is probably a good thing.
Now, these programs will go into effect next year, and stick around at 6 o'clock. We'll hear more about the safety implements that are going to go into effect next year, as well from Janesville Police to see what they think about safety at the schools.
We will see you at 6. Thanks, Adam.
Madison is hosting the CrossFit Games for the second year in a row this week. 560 elite athletes from 32 different nations are competing. The world-class athletes will compete in a grueling strength and fitness competition in hopes of being named the fittest in the world. CrossFit Games General Manager Justin Berg says these athletes are the best of the best.
The athletes that are competing here in Madison are the top 1% of 1% in the entire world. Over 400,000 people began the season testing themselves to see if they had what it took just to make it to the semifinal round. And then these athletes excelled at the semifinals.
Now, there are a lot of events going on during the CrossFit Games. If you'd like to take part in the festivities, we have a list at channel3000.com.
Bree Stevens Field and the Madison Mallards are teaming up to give back to the Sun Prairie explosion victims. Every ticket sold through midnight tonight will be matched dollar for dollar with a donation to Sunshine Place. General admission tickets are $10. VIP tickets are $17. Children ages 12 and under are free.
There's more to come on News 3 at 5 up next. Democrats introduce legislation to stop the online publication of blueprints for 3D guns. We'll tell you what President Trump is saying about it.
And thousands of firefighters are battling wildfires out west. We'll give you an update on their progress.
And on Wall Street, the Dow soars 108 points to close July with a 4.7% gain. The Nasdaq and S&P also climb, each finishing July with their 4th consecutive monthly gain. We'll be right back. Beginning tomorrow, a company called Defense Distributed can release plans for 3D printed guns, even 3D printed AR-15 style rifles, free of charge online.
The nonprofit settled a lawsuit with the federal government in April to be allowed to give away the designs. 8 states and the District of Columbia are suing to block the federal government's settlement and keep the blueprints from being posted online at midnight. Democrats on Capitol Hill introduced legislation to stop the online publication of blueprints for 3D guns.
This is not a question of gun rights. This is really, if there were a terrorist and criminal rights organization, they'd be cheering today. Because this is all about how people who shouldn't get guns can get guns easily.
The president tweeted, "I am looking into 3D plastic guns being sold to the public. Already spoke to the NRA. Doesn't seem to make much sense."
Firefighters are still struggling to contain those deadly wildfires across California. The Carr fire near Redding has destroyed over 800 homes, is now the 7th most destructive fire in California history. More than 3,000 firefighters from nearly a dozen states continue to battle the monster fire that's charred an area larger than the city of Denver. It's now heading away, though, from the heavily populated towns.
Is burning up into more rural areas. There are still residences, there are still structures that are threatened, and so the firefight is still very real.
At least 17 wildfires are burning across California. Authorities are bringing in new resources every day to help battle those flames.
The Los Angeles Police Department has released video of another deadly police shooting. The incident last month began with a call from a man who allegedly stabbed his ex-girlfriend. Body cam video shows the moment LAPD officers confronted Guillermo Perez. Police can be heard repeatedly instructing the 32-year-old to drop the knife and a folding chair he was holding before opening fire with beanbags. Investigators say Perez put a knife to a woman's throat, and that's when 3 officers fired a total of 18 bullets to stop him.
Perez was shot and killed. Tragically, the woman was also struck twice by gunfire, and she later died at a hospital.
LAPD officials say they're examining ways to improve the effectiveness of less lethal tools like lasers and beanbag shotguns. The actions of the officers involved are still under investigation.
The trial for former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort is underway. The jury has been selected for Manafort at a federal courtroom in Virginia. Special counsel Robert Mueller has charged Manafort with bank fraud and tax evasion, alleging he failed to pay taxes on tens of millions of dollars earned from his lobbying work on behalf of Ukrainian politicians. He allegedly laundered that money through lavish purchases, including homes, luxury cars, even custom clothing. That trial is expected to last about 2 weeks.
Let's head out to the weather patio now for a check on the forecast. Gary Canolti is watching the weather. Nice afternoon out there. Hi, Gary.
Hi, yeah, pretty nice out here. There are a couple of showers and thunderstorms, mainly over the western parts of our viewing area today. Tomorrow, about this time, we'll see a better chance for some showers and storms. That will lead to a cooler day on Thursday, but after that, we still have the heat and humidity building for the weekend. As we look at visible cloud track, you can see some cirrus clouds that have been drifting northward out of Illinois into southeastern Wisconsin. That's held temperatures down by a degree or two and kept the thunderstorms from popping up here as opposed to areas farther to the west where there's a little more sunshine. Temperatures were a few degrees warmer, and so you're seeing those thunderstorms from just south of La Crosse into southwestern Wisconsin and parts of northeastern Iowa. And on Doppler track, you can see those thunderstorms again drifting back toward the southwest. So the better chances for rain for this evening will be south and west of Madison. Can't rule out an isolated shower or storm popping up elsewhere, but I think by about sunset, most of that activity will be over with. Now, there are some more thunderstorms farther to the north and west into northern Minnesota. That's with the cold front that will reach us by later tomorrow afternoon. Today's severe weather outlook has a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms up in northern Minnesota, but tomorrow that marginal risk shifts southward and affects southern Wisconsin, northwestern Illinois, eastern Iowa, or northern Iowa, and southeastern Minnesota. Gusty winds and heavy downpours would be the main threats from those thunderstorms later tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Live view for the Quebe Radio Skycam in Platteville. A little more cloud cover there. There have been some showers around. The WISC Skycam actually looking toward the northeast, just showing hazy sunshine over the Madison area. And the downtown Madison Edgewater Skycam showing partly sunny skies over the northern end of the UW campus. 79 the high temperature so far for Madison. Low temperature at 52, and right now we're sitting at 79. The air is calm, the humidity at 45%. and the dew point temperature pretty comfortable in the middle 60s. So while temperatures are in the upper 70s here in southern Wisconsin, notice it is warmer to our north and to our west. Temperatures low to mid 80s through much of the northern half of Wisconsin, as well as parts of Minnesota and Iowa. On weather track, things pretty quiet around here. The upper level winds kind of bringing a little bit of that cloud cover from northern Illinois northward, and that's keeping temperatures down a bit around here. But notice an area of clearing out to the west. So we should see a fair amount of sunshine tomorrow before that cold front with the showers and thunderstorms up in northern Minnesota and North Dakota. Those won't reach us until sometime late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Right now that front's stationary, but eventually it'll turn into a cold front and start working its way southward. North of that front, notice International Falls, Minnesota right now at 73, and temperatures are in the 60s just north of the U.S.-Canadian border. South of the front, temperatures mainly in the upper 70s to the middle 80s. Dew point temperatures not terribly high here, but you can see a few places where there's a little more moisture to the north and west, so that could lead to a better chance for thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. Slight chance of an evening shower or thunderstorm tonight, otherwise partly cloudy and mild with a low of 60. Tomorrow, partly sunny and warm with thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high at 81. On future track, look for partly cloudy skies overnight, low temperatures around 60. Tomorrow, partly sunny, and then those thunderstorms popping up later in the afternoon, highs in the lower 80s. Tomorrow night, most of the thunderstorms in the evening, then just cloudy overnight with some patchy fog, low of around 60. And on Thursday, because of that cloud cover, high temperatures only reaching the lower 70s with just a slight chance of showers. Rainfall amounts generally about a quarter to a half inch. There could be some heavier amounts of over an inch in a heavier shower or thunderstorm. But the 7 to 10 day forecast calls for dry weather on Friday with high temperatures back in the lower 80s. And then we're up close to 90 for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, with the best chances of thunderstorms probably Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning. Temperatures, though, still remaining warm through the end of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic, got our usual delays on the Beltline, especially in the eastbound direction. That's the DOT traffic camera at the Beltline and Park Street. You can see right now some delays eastbound on the Beltline from around Park Street back to Verona Road, some delays northbound on US 12 out of Middleton, and the usual delays on US 151 near the Monona Terrace Convention Center. Right now, a little more than a half hour from University Avenue to the interstate on the eastbound Beltline, 17 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 28 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline. 20 minutes out to Sauk City on US 12, and 15 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151 East Washington Avenue. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
You're welcome. Still ahead on News 3 at 5, a new survey showing that many workers believe, and you won't believe this, they actually believe that office meetings waste their time. We'll have more after a short break. If you work in an office, there is a good chance you attend meetings on a regular basis, maybe just perhaps more frequently than you want or need.
A new survey finds that many workers consider those meetings a big waste of time. They did a survey on that. Kenneth Craig reports.
This San Francisco company offers its employees free breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as paid sabbatical and parental leave. But workers here at Asana also appreciate something the company does not have.
It's No Meeting Wednesday, where employees can actually get their work done.
Asana's Anna Binder says giving workers one whole day without meetings allows them to dive into their work.
They can go deep for uninterrupted, really hours of time in order to do the focused work that they need to do to move their work forward.
In a new survey from Account Temps, workers say they spend 21% of their time in meetings and feel 25% of that time is wasted. The top complaints are meetings often start or end late, they are unnecessary and could have been handled over email, and that people who attend meetings are often distracted by their smartphones.
The meetings that are regular need to sometimes get looked at. You don't have to meet just because it's a habit to meet.
Don Fay from staffing agency Robert Half says an effective meeting doesn't have to run longer than 30 to 45 minutes.
Get in, get your points across, get some things accomplished, and then get out.
Asana's No Meeting Wednesdays are so popular, they've become a recruiting tool. The message is, time is precious, let's make sure to use it well. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
Some good ideas in there. We'll have another check of the weather when we return.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, Facebook says it has uncovered more fake accounts trying to interfere in the U.S. midterms. Blueprints for 3D printed guns, including rifles, now online. And following Alan Alda's Parkinson's revelation on CBS this morning, a look at the latest treatments. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Final check of the weather with Gary.
A couple of showers and thunderstorms out there, mainly over the western parts of our viewing area right now. You can see them from around Richland Center and Lone Rock back toward Prairie du Chien. Temperatures right now mainly in the mid to upper 70s, although areas farther to the north and west a little bit warmer. 82 in Camp Douglas and 87 right now in La Crosse. 7 to 10 day forecast. Shower and thunderstorm chances tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Cooler on Thursday, but then after that, temperatures really take off, mid to upper 80s through all of next week.
That's what looks like August.
Gary, thank you. And thanks for joining us. News 3 at 6 comes back in 30 minutes. CBS Evening News is next.